Ladies and gentlemen, Wandia Gichuru of Vivo Fashion is a lady whose words, whose story, and whose business has gone viral all over the world. Now you see her, she's nice, she's small, she's cute, but she is a powerful lioness. Ladies and gentlemen, with warm welcome, please bring to the stage Wandia Gichuru of Vivo Fashion.
Spotlight on a brand new dawn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wandia.
Good morning, Kigali. It is such an honor to be here with all of you, and as always, it is a pleasure to be in Rwanda, a country that I have very deep fondness and admiration for. Let me start by telling you a little bit about me. I grew up in Kenya. My father was a civil servant, and my mother a school teacher. Neither of them earned much money. But as a child, I remember my father being furious when he found out that my mother was buying secondhand clothing for my brothers and I. He was a proud African man, and for him, this was a matter of dignity. After finishing university, I worked for many years in international development, focused on poverty reduction programs. But at 43, I left to co-found Vivo and become an entrepreneur. My focus shifted from how can we reduce poverty to how can we create wealth, opportunity, and shared prosperity instead. Some years ago, I was at an event where Gracia Machel looked at a room like this and said, "Every generation has a unique responsibility. It is now your generation's responsibility to ensure that Africa is no longer left behind." As we know, unemployment rates across Africa are unforgivably high. Too many young people living without the dignity of work. Too many being left behind. And this is where I believe Made in Africa fashion can play a part. 1.2 billion Africans wake up and get dressed every single day. We are incredible consumers of fashion, yet the bulk of what we wear is imported, much of it secondhand. We basically outsource our dressing, and we wear other people's waste. By manufacturing our clothing here in Africa, and by owning our own fashion brands, we can create jobs, economic opportunities, and dignity for millions of us. There is a reason why in China and in India, and yes, even here in Rwanda, it is either illegal or very difficult to import any secondhand clothing. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about many African countries, including my own home, Kenya. There is also a reason why 4 out of the 20 richest people in the world have made their fortunes in fashion. The wealthiest man in Japan today is not the owner of Toyota. It is the owner of Uniqlo, a fashion brand. Fashion is real business. Vivo's vision is an Africa in which everyone thrives, and our mission is to unlock the limitless potential of Made in Africa fashion. Or to put it simply, our mission is to see Africa dress herself. We have a few guiding principles. We have full confidence in ourselves and our capabilities. We're very happy to learn and to partner with others, but we've never had to apply for work permits because we always hire local wherever we operate. We believe that we are all uniquely beautiful and that everyone deserves to look and feel great. And we also know that we're all connected and that a rising tide will raise all ships. So we consciously try to lift others as we grow. Our value proposition boils down to 4 main things: fit, style, service, and price, all anchored in the deep conviction that African women deserve affordable, stylish, everyday clothing that fits real bodies. Imported clothing is never designed with us in mind. So we developed a size chart that reflects our actual bodies, and we work with colors, fabrics, silhouettes, and prints that truly complement us. It took $100,000 of our personal savings to open the first store in 2011. Luckily, we've been profitable since year 1, even during COVID, and have mostly grown through retained earnings. To date, we have shied away from taking institutional money other than for Shopzetu, which is an e-commerce marketplace dedicated to fashion and beauty that we launched in 2020. Today, Shopzetu carries over 300 brands, the majority of them made in Africa brands. The same year, we also created 2 new brands of our own. We opened our first store outside of Kenya in 2022, right here in Kigali, and it's literally across the street, and we've shared promo codes on your seats in case you want to visit us. We opened our first Uganda store in 2023 and our second Uganda store just last week. I think it's important to say that despite all the corruption and shenanigans we often see around us, we follow all the rules. We declare whatever we import or export at genuine prices. We pay all our taxes in full and on time, and we do not pay bribes. Here's what we look like today. 30 stores across East Africa, 450 full-time employees, 70% of which are women, over 100,000 active customers, and hopefully we'll reach revenues of $8.5 million this year with a healthy profit margin. This is our extremely vertically integrated supply chain. Basically, other than producing our own raw materials, we do everything else in-house. And 99% of our products are sold through our own platforms, our stores, and through Shopzetu. To date, we have focused on scaling across East Africa, where the customer is relatively similar, and we've been able to benefit from the EAC and COMESA trade agreements. In 2023, however, we ventured into the US, initially through pop-up stores at the large Essence Festival. And that's where we learned just how underserved African-American women are when it comes to clothing as well. And despite being a totally unknown brand, we sold more than any other fashion brand at the festival. Why? Because our products resonated with the consumer. This experience, together with a $600,000 grant commitment from USAID, gave us the confidence to open a beautiful store in Atlanta in 2024. But just as the store was picking up, USAID was shut down and we lost the grant. And this, combined with uncertainties around AGOA, tariffs, and other things to do with US policy, it led us to close the store this April. I wanted to share a few lessons we have learned when it comes to scaling. Number one is you cannot grow the tree without growing the roots, and the roots need to be deeper than the tree. The only way to scale is through operational discipline, structures, process, and an honest team that is excellent at execution. We've learned sometimes the hard way that the boring, unsexy stuff is absolutely critical and must be mastered at home before you can cross borders. We also know that consumer insight is really your superpower. In Kenya, over 75% of our revenue comes from repeat customers, proving that when you design with your customer in mind, loyalty will follow. Much of our catalog does resonate in new markets, but there are nuances to consider. In the US, for example, we had to expand our size range from 5 to 8 sizes. 3, you can never scale alone. Tara spoke a lot about this. You really need to invest in your teams and learn how to listen, lift, and empower others. You have to know that it's about getting 12 people together to solve one problem, rather than believing that you are the one person that can solve 12 problems. And to remember that no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. This is something that I still need to remind myself daily. 4th is really to focus. Resist the temptation to try too many things at once and to jump at every opportunity. Identify those 2 to 3 things that really matter most and stop chasing everything else, especially the shiny objects that are dangled in front of you. For us, this was exploring the US a bit too early and creating too many brands at once. And lastly, we've already heard about resilience. More than ever, we need to remain resilient. But luckily, as Africans, I believe we're born with resilience in our blood. And hopefully that will continue to serve us during these uncertain times. Our ambition is to grow Vivo into a truly global fashion brand that will create wealth and opportunities for tens of thousands of Africans. A specific goal is to position ourselves for either strategic acquisition or even public listing by 2030. We believe that achieving this as a fully made in Africa, homegrown, female-led brand will inspire and drive positive change across the African fashion ecosystem. Let me end by reminding us of Graça Machel's challenge. It is our generation's unique responsibility to ensure that Africa is no longer left behind. It is our moment of truth, our time to lead this continent to new frontiers. If you're in this room or if you're listening, it's because you already are or should be part of this agenda, whether as an entrepreneur, a policymaker, an investor, an employer, a consumer, an African, or even just as a friend of Africa. We need to design and build intentionally for Africa. Every choice we make, every day we spend, every dollar we spend is either helping to take this continent forward, or it is simply keeping us stagnant, or worse still, taking us back. Africa doesn't need more permission. We don't need to prove ourselves to anybody but ourselves. We just need to be bolder, more intentional, and more honest. We need to become the leaders we want to see and to fight corruption wherever we see it. Our future cannot be imported. We need to make it confidently, creatively, and together. Thank you.